Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. Hello, my name is Lisa Machenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. It is my pleasure to introduce Carmen Lynne, and she's going to talk to us about her practice where she uses hypnotherapy with chronic pain. Help me welcome Carmen Lynne. Well, Carmen, first I want to thank you so much for coming on our show, Hypnosis Today. And when I was talking to you, I was very impressed that you are working not at one, but at two medical clinics, working with physicians as part of the team with patients with chronic pain. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, it's very exciting, and it is a field that I think is growing all the time. So I work with two clinics, as I say. One of them is with Dr. Gregory Smith in Los Angeles, and he has a program called the NESP, or the NESP program, which incorporates, so N stands for nutrition, E for emotion, S for social, and P for physical. So I am the emotional component of his program.
And you're an HMI graduate. When did you graduate?
In 2007.
So have you been working with him for about 3 years now?
I have, yes.
Yeah, well, you just got a second gig. Tell me about that.
Yes, I just got a second gig a couple of months ago, which is very exciting. I'm working for a company called Synovation, who have already 4 pain clinics, and they're opening up another one in Torrance near me, which I'm very grateful for. And even though I've only been there for 2 months, I already have 70 patients with them.
So take me through how this works when you work for a medical corporation or are on staff as a hypnotherapist. When someone comes in with chronic pain, how does that person get to you?
Yes. What they do is they will be going to see their doctor, who is usually an anesthesiologist or a neurologist or a physiatrist, and their doctor will say, well, I think there may be an emotional component to this, and therefore I'm going to refer them to Carmen Lynne. Then they send a little message to the front desk, and the front desk put them on my schedule, and that's how they come to see me.
Tell me about your office. How did you set it up?
Oh, it's lovely because I have my own office. There's plenty of room in there. I've got it all nice and comfy. I have, the recliner chair, nice blanket for them, and everything very soothing, nice soothing music and stuff like that. And I also use a little biofeedback in my practice, and I have a lovely program that I can take them on with that, where they can learn relaxation techniques.
Beautiful. Well, you do hypnotherapy, and you took some continuing education for some additional hypnotherapy. What was the name of that course?
Yes, it was called Rational Hypnotherapy.
What is that?
Yes, that is wonderful because I realized very soon after I started in practice that the kind of techniques I was using just spontaneously really were the same as a cognitive behavioral therapy that one reads about in psychotherapy. So I then got interested in that, and I realized that there was continuing education in cognitive behavioral therapy for hypnotherapists, and that is rational hypnotherapy. And that is using the power of the cognitions, changing the cognitions, because basically, especially with chronic pain, what you're talking about is that mind-body connection.
Yes.
You're talking about the way that thoughts can influence the way you feel emotionally, and that can influence the way you feel physically.
Okay, so take me through, what are some of the thoughts or the cycles or the patterns that people who are in chronic pain from a legitimate physiological injury or disease that begin to affect the emotions, and how hypnotherapy can help?
Yes, absolutely. There are many thoughts which are, we might call them dysfunctional or even automatic negative thoughts. And by the way, we all have this happening, not just people in chronic pain.
Yes.
Just with chronic pain, it's a little bit more extreme. It's affecting their life a lot. So these thoughts, they have different categories, and there's various categories, maybe 10 or 15. But 3 of the most important or most significant ones would be catastrophizing, personalization, and negative prediction.
Take us through each one.
Okay, certainly. So catastrophizing, say for example, you're a person in chronic pain, and you wake up in the morning and you have a little twinge in your arm, for example. And immediately you go right to, oh my God, this must mean that, you know, there's something terribly wrong with my arm, and it's just gonna get terrible, terrible, terrible. So you're making a big thing. You're magnifying the problem, basically. So what we learn to do is to, and of course if you're magnifying the problem, you're going to increase your emotional stress, and thereby you're going to increase the physical sensation of pain.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So what I do as a hypnotherapist is I teach them how to break that pattern immediately at the thought level. So to realize that that is just a thought. It's not the truth, it's not a fact, it's just a thought. Okay? I have a little twinge in my arm. What does that mean? What's the significance of that? Well, it might mean there's something seriously wrong. It might mean it's just a little twinge in my arm.
That's right.
Yes? So that's an example of catastrophizing.
How about personalization?
Personalizing.
Sounds like something that I would take very personally.
Oh,
is that what
absolutely.
It is?
Yes. And again, we all can do this. Say, for example, I'm a person with chronic pain. My husband comes home and he's in a terrible mood and he snaps at me. Now, I might take that personally, you know, as a person with chronic pain. I might say, oh, you know, he hates me, now I'm in chronic pain, he can't stand me, he wants a divorce, you know, all this. I'm taking it personally.
And you would associate it with the chronic pain. Because I'm in chronic pain, I am defective. Who could love someone who is defective?
Precisely.
Therefore, he came home and he scowled or he snapped at me. It's because he knows I'm defective because I'm in chronic pain.
Yes, and what you've identified there is a core belief underlying, I am defective because I'm in chronic pain. Okay? So again, we would interrupt that pattern. We'd say, no, actually, you don't know what, you know, the reason why your husband snapped at you. And it's probably nothing to do with you. It's probably that he had a bad day at work, his boss snapped at him.
So you just need to ask the question about, can you tell, you just snapped at me, can you tell me what's going on with you?
Exactly.
And what if the husband says, it's those who live with the afflicted also suffer. I'm tired of living with someone in chronic pain. What happens then?
Well, in that case, obviously, the person would have to recognize that it does affect the significant other when one is in chronic pain. And, you know, that there are ways that we can actually deal with both of the people in the partnership in order to help, because oftentimes also patients come to me or clients come to me with chronic pain and they say, I just hate it when my significant other fusses over me and treats me like I'm this invalid. I want them to just treat me like I'm normal, you know, but their significant other is believing that they're being helpful, like, are you okay? Can I get
So
you
it is a
something?
dynamic.
It is a dynamic, exactly.
And yet, you know what? I get some personalization. If I go into the dry cleaner and someone tisks his or her tongue because I'm pulling a coupon out of my purse, it's because obviously I'm bad. So is that also personalization?
Absolutely.
And when you're in pain, I can imagine make it 1,000 times worse.
It makes it 1,000 times worse. It exacerbates the whole problem. So again, what we're doing is we're allowing our thoughts, which are just thoughts, not facts, not the truth, to influence our emotions, and that in turn influences our physical sensation.
Now, I like the one you mentioned, negative predictions. What kind of a faulty thought is a negative prediction?
A negative prediction is where, and I hear this so many times, for example, you'll have a client come to you and they'll say, well, you know, because I have chronic pain and my doctor recommended I do physical therapy, and when I do the physical therapy, sometimes it makes me feel a little bit worse. And then the automatic negative thought that comes in, the negative prediction is, I am never going to get better. That is the one.
That's the prediction.
I will never get better.
Yes.
So they're predicting that. And another, actually, this goes into another type of automatic negative thought, which is kind of all or nothing thinking. So very often someone will have a little bit of an improvement in their symptoms. And rather than focusing on the little bit of improvement they've had in their symptoms, they're going to focus on the bad stuff. They're going to focus on, well, it wasn't as big as I wanted it to be, or, you know, I'm not immediately well, just like that. And, you know, so what I'm encouraging them to do is always to focus on the positive and to celebrate the small gains, even if they're small.
Wow. What are your favorite hypnotic modalities to use with your chronic pain clients?
Okay, well, I use a lot of anchors in my practice because very often people come to me and they say, you know, I feel great when I'm with you. I feel just great. I can reduce my pain. You know, I can come into a session with you with my pain at 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst, and I can leave your session with my pain at 1 or 2, and that's fabulous. But what do I do when you're not with me? Because I can't bottle you and take you home with me. So that's why anchors are so useful, because anchors are something that they can use in just 2 seconds. They can actually just use this technique themselves in any situation. So to tell you, you probably know a little bit about anchors if you've been at HMI, because that's where I learned about them. So the anchors that I would use with my clients are, they have 3 components, and the first and most important one is breathing. So important, so important. I mean, I've even had people say to me, just learning diaphragmatic breathing has made this huge impact on my pain level, my stress level.
Yes.
Isn't that wonderful? So the breathing is the most significant one. The second component is a word or a phrase, and I do like it to come from the client if at all possible, so it has personal relevance to them, such as, I'm okay, everything's going to be okay, you know, this too will pass, you know, whatever happens I can handle it. That's another great one. So a word or phrase that just by saying it will induce, along with the breathing, will induce a feeling of relaxation. And it's physiological, because you're talking about the body and the mind working together, right?
Yes.
And the third thing is either a physical gesture, which could be as simple as
a finger press.
Yes, finger press, or people have come up with all sorts of wonderful ones. You know, I had one that was like, this was her physical gesture, or like this, a hand on the heart, or, you know, there's all sorts of different physical gestures. Again, I will ask the client to come up with their own if possible.
Do you know what I love, Carmen? I love how you're personalizing the treatment for each and every one of your clients. I wish we had so much more time to talk about this today, and I know everyone's going to want to incorporate being able to deal with people with chronic pain into their own private practices. How can people learn more? How can people get hold of you?
Well, they can get hold of me through the HMI Graduate website.
Terrific. Go ahead and spell your last name for us.
Lynnne.
Perfect. Well, it appears time is up for today. I want to thank Carmen Lynne for joining us and sharing her experience. And I want to thank you at home for watching my show. My name is Lisa Machenberg, and I hope you will join us next time when we meet more people and explore how they are using Hypnosis Today. Please stay tuned. We have a lot more coming up for you on HMI Web TV. That's Hypnotherapy Television, 24/7. Or are on staff as a hypnotherapist, when someone comes in with chronic pain, how does that person get to you?
Yes. What they do is they will be going to see their doctor, who is usually an anesthesiologist or a neurologist or a physiatrist, and their doctor will say, well, I think there may be an emotional component to this, and therefore I'm going to refer them to Carmen Lynne. Then they send a little message to the front desk, and the front desk put them on my schedule, and that's how they come to see me.
Tell me about your office. How did you set it up with patients with chronic pain? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, it's very exciting, and it is a field that I think is growing all the time. So I work with 2 clinics, as I say. One of them is with Dr. Gregory Smith in Los Angeles, and he has a program called the NESP, or the NESP program, which incorporates, so N stands for nutrition, E for emotion, S for social, and P for physical. So I am the emotional component of his program.
Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. Hello, my name is Lisa Machenberg, and I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, happiness, and prosperity. It is my pleasure to introduce Carmen Lynne, and she's going to talk to us about her practice where she uses hypnotherapy with chronic pain. Help me welcome Carmen Lynne. Well, Carmen, first I want to thank you so much for coming on our show, Hypnosis Today. And when I was talking to you, I was very impressed that you are working not at one, but at 2 medical clinics, working with physicians as part of the team.
Grad.
And you're an HMI graduate. When did you graduate?
In 2007.
So have you been working with him for about 3 years now?
I have, yes.
Yeah, well, you just got a second gig. Tell me about that.
Yes, I just got a second gig a couple of months ago, which is very exciting. I'm working for a company called Synovation, who have already 4 pain clinics, and they're opening up another one in Torrance near me, which I'm very grateful for. And even though I've only been there for 2 months, I already have 70 patients with them.
So take me through how this works when you work for a medical corporation.